Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive. I'm your host.
And hello from me too.
Today, we're plunging headfirst, really, into the digital trenches of 2025. It was a year that truly underscored just how deeply our lives are interwoven with technology, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere.
Think about it. From, the simple act of ordering your morning coffee online to managing your entire financial portfolio.
Hmm.
Our world operates on this complex web of interconnected systems.
Yeah, and it's those connections, those vital connections that can sometimes become, well, unexpected points of vulnerability.
Exactly.
But it's truly fascinating when we look back at the cyber incidents of 2025. It's not just the individual audacity of each attack, but how they collectively illustrate the evolving battlegrounds in the digital realm.
Right.
We're not merely recounting what transpired. Our mission today is to understand why these events matter, what critical insights they reveal about current and future threats.
And how that applies to all of us, really.
Precisely. How those lessons apply to everyone navigating our increasingly connected world.
So today, we're embarking on a deep dive into the most notable cybersecurity incidents of that year. Now, while the daily drumbeat of breaches can often feel overwhelming, frankly, there were far too many to track every single one.
Oh, you'd never keep up.
We've meticulously selected 4 significant cases that truly captured headlines. More importantly, they offer profound insights into the shifting strategies of attackers and the vulnerabilities we continually face.
Yeah, these 4 really stood out.
We've pored over original reports from, well, all the key places you'd expect, the specialist security news sites, CISIT advisories, even broader tech publications, to really cut through the noise.
Our goal is to give you a clear, concise, and hopefully incredibly informative shortcut to understanding what actually happened.
Why holds such significance?
And what critical takeaways we can all glean from these digital skirmishes. You'll find these attacks incredibly diverse. We'll be dissecting everything from sophisticated social engineering schemes, where the primary target isn't a server, but, human trust.
The person clicking the mouse.
Exactly. To complex technical exploits that leverage hidden software flaws, and of course, the ever-present financially devastating threat of ransomware holding vital data hostage.
Always ransomware.
Always. Each case is a unique masterclass, really, in modern digital security, and together they paint a comprehensive picture of the challenges we face then and, frankly, continue to face now.
So let's unpack this, because for all the cutting-edge firewalls, the AI-driven threat detection systems, the biometric scanners that protect our digital fortresses, sometimes the most straightforward path for an attacker isn't through some complex technical bypass at all.
No, it's often simpler.
It's through us, the humans. That human element remains an enduring vulnerability that even the most advanced tech hasn't been able to entirely erase.
You've absolutely hit on a crucial point there. It's a constant, sometimes frustrating reminder that security is never just about the code or the hardware.
Right.
It's profoundly about the people interacting with those systems. The most robust defenses can just crumble if a single individual is unknowingly manipulated.
And our first 2 incidents today perfectly illustrate this persistent challenge.
The human element, when trust becomes a trap.
Okay, our first stop on this deep dive brings us to what was dramatically dubbed the Great British Hack-Off.
Catchy name.
Isn't it? Imagine the scene.
Yeah.
It's April 2025, and some of the UK's most iconic retail giants, Marks & Spencer, Co-op, and the venerable Harrods, found themselves under an unprecedented digital siege.
These aren't just stores, they're institutions, really, part of the fabric.
Exactly. Deeply ingrained in the nation's daily life. The perpetrators. A group known as Scattered Spider, identified as a key component of the wider Com hacking collective.
A known group, then?
Yes. And what they pulled off was nothing short of staggering. A reported 440 million drawing heist.
Wow.
Which translates to roughly $592 million US.
That financial figure alone is enough to send shivers down the spine of any executive. But what's particularly striking about this incident is how they managed to achieve such a massive impact without initially resorting to highly sophisticated technical exploits.
Exactly. Their primary weapon wasn't some exotic zero-day vulnerability hidden deep in corporate software. No.
So what was it?
It was a finely tuned, highly persuasive art of social engineering, executed with what you might call a PhD-level twist.
Ah, the human factor again.
They crafted phishing emails so utterly convincing, so perfectly tailored, that they could practically sell sand to a desert nomad.
Haha. Good analogy.
These weren't your typical clumsy scams with glaring typos. They meticulously mimicked corporate communications,
The branding, the language.
complete with authentic-looking branding, subtle jargon, and urgent calls to action. Things like, your account requires immediate verification. Click here to prevent suspension. You know, the type.
We've all seen them, yeah. But these are obviously very good fakes.
Extremely good. So employees may be under pressure, accustomed to routine digital directives, clicked links that led to fake login portals.
And these portals looked real.
Pixel-perfect replicas of the company's legitimate internal systems, tricking staff into willingly handing over their credentials.
Like handing over the keys to the castle without even realizing it. Ouch.
Precisely.
And once they had those coveted credentials, the ripple effect was immediate and, well, devastating. The impact wasn't just abstract financial loss, right? It was tangible chaos.
Total chaos. Distribution centers, the very arteries of these retail empires, ground to a halt.
So goods weren't moving.
No. Goods couldn't be tracked, orders couldn't be processed, and shelves from M&S food halls to Harrods luxury departments started looking empty.
Nightmare scenario for retail.
And agency workers, whose livelihoods depend on these daily operations, were sent home because the digital systems they relied upon were completely compromised.
Wow, real human impact there too.
The operational disruption alone was a critical blow, leading to widespread consumer frustration and, perhaps most damagingly, a significant erosion of customer trust.
That trust is so hard to win back.
What's truly remarkable, almost paradoxical, about this attack is that for all the disruption and the staggering financial loss, the hackers didn't even manage to directly steal usable payment details or customer passwords.
Really? So what did they get?
What they primarily got were names and addresses, essentially. Public directory information.
Yeah.
It's been likened to stealing a phone book in the digital age.
So not the crown jewels in terms of data theft.
Not directly, no. Yet that seemingly innocuous data obtained through compromised internal credentials allowed them to manipulate and disrupt the retailer's core operations so profoundly that the financial drain from the resulting chaos and recovery efforts eclipsed the value of any direct data theft.
That's a critical distinction many organizations still struggle to grasp, I think. We often fixate on the direct financial fallout from compromised credit cards or personal IDs.
Right, the headline data breach number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here, the true weapon wasn't data exfiltration, it was systemic paralysis. Imagine the cascading effect.
Yeah.
Supply chains grinding to a halt, shelves empty during peak shopping seasons, seasonal staff suddenly out of work. The actual financial cost from operational disruption alone can eclipse the value of stolen data, and the erosion of customer trust leaves a scar far harder to quantify or recover from. This attack serves as a powerful testament to that principle.
So how were these digital burglars caught? How did they figure it out?
Well, detection came from a few different angles, it seems.
Okay.
Firstly, the retailer's sophisticated financial anomaly detection systems started, screaming bloody murder.
Right, alarms going off everywhere.
You can almost hear the digital alarms blaring, flagging unusual, massive outflows of funds that certainly didn't look like legitimate supplier payments.
But it wasn't solely technical, was it?
No, crucially, vigilant employees also played a key role. They began raising alarms after spotting those suspicious emails, maybe even after clicking them initially.
The sniff test.
Exactly. Something just didn't quite pass the sniff test for enough people, triggering investigations. That combination of advanced technical controls and alert human vigilance is often the most effective early warning system.
Makes sense. It really underscores the value of active employee engagement and security, reminding us that every individual is a potential sensor in the network.
Couldn't agree more.
The remediation efforts were, as you can imagine, a whirlwind of frantic activity. The UK National Crime Agency, the NCA, swiftly swooped in.
Law enforcement got involved quickly then.
Very quickly. They launched a targeted investigation that led to the arrest of 4 suspects, 2 19-year-old men, a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old woman across the West Midlands and London.
Quite young.
Yeah, surprisingly young. These arrests, under charges including Computer Misuse Act offenses, blackmail, and money laundering, undoubtedly dealt a significant blow to Scattered Spider's operations.
Good.
Simultaneously, the affected retailers scrambled to restore their systems, a painstaking process involving rebuilding from secure backups.
Assuming they had good backups.
Which highlights the importance of that, right? Essentially, rolling back to a last known good state before the compromise. They moved quickly to notify affected customers, transparently reassuring them that while names and addresses were involved, no sensitive financial data had been directly compromised. Public apologies were issued, emphasizing their commitment to security.
Standard crisis playbook, but necessary.
Absolutely. And to prevent a sequel to this hack-off, these retailers rapidly rolled out enhanced controls. What do?
Well, mandatory employee training on how to spot advanced phishing scams became a top priority, often accompanied by simulated phishing exercises to test and reinforce learning.
Practice makes perfect, or at least more aware.
Exactly. Simultaneously, they accelerated the widespread implementation of multi-factor authentication, or MFA, across all internal systems.
Makes sense. Harder to use stolen passwords then.
Much harder. It makes it significantly harder for stolen credentials to grant entry without that second form of verification. They also beefed up their monitoring systems, not just for financial anomalies, but for any unusual user behavior or system access patterns.
Looking for strange activity.
Right. And it's highly probable, almost certain, that they brought in ethical hackers or red teams to stress test their defenses.
Right, fire with a fire, kind of.
Essentially inviting someone to try and breach their systems before the real bad guys do, identifying and shoring up weaknesses proactively.
When we connect this incident to the broader cybersecurity landscape, it powerfully underscores how even large, well-resourced organizations with seemingly robust tech stacks remain profoundly vulnerable to human fallibility. It raises a critical question. In an age where social engineering is so sophisticated, how do you truly balance the imperative for operational efficiency with the absolute necessity of rigorous security, especially when your employees are, by default, the first line of defense?
That's the $1 million, or maybe the 440 million question, isn't it?
Right. This attack really hammered home the continued effectiveness of social engineering despite growing awareness, and it emphasized the critical importance of immediate, coordinated response from both law enforcement and internal security teams.
And the lasting impact on reputation and customer trust, even when sensitive data isn't directly stolen, that's a powerful and costly lesson for any organization.
Definitely.
And speaking of the human element, our next incident takes social engineering to a new, almost cinematic level of audacity. It's a testament to the creativity, however malicious, of attackers.
Oh, this one truly sounds like it's plucked straight from a spy novel. The Spy Who Hacked Me, PurpleHaze versus SentinelOne.
Quite the title.
Picture the sheer audacity of this master plan. In April 2025, Chinese hackers, operating under the moniker PurpleHaze, set their sights on SentinelOne.
A cybersecurity company itself.
Exactly, a titan in the cybersecurity industry. Their incredible scheme. To infiltrate the company not by breaking in, but by applying for jobs.
You're kidding.
Not kidding. Specifically, they managed to have a staggering 360 fake North Korean IT workers submit applications.
360.
360 imposters. It's as if they thought, why go to all the trouble of hacking the system when you can just try to get hired and walk right in?
That's bold. This wasn't merely about compromising a single account for a quick data grab then.
No, not at all.
The ultimate goal here was a strategic, long-game infiltration to gain deep, legitimate insider access.
Plant spies.
Effectively plant spies within the very fabric of SentinelOne's operations, gradually working their way into positions where they could access sensitive internal data, intellectual property, or even target high-value customers from within. This truly represents a shift towards leveraging trust and human identity as the primary breach vector.
Rather than code.
Rather than solely relying on technical exploits, it marks a more patient and, frankly, insidious approach.
They truly spared no expense or effort in this elaborate ruse. PurpleHaze crafted incredibly convincing fake LinkedIn profiles.
Must have taken ages.
Complete with meticulously fabricated job histories and impressive, though entirely fictional, credentials. They even employed sophisticated deepfake video interviews.
Deepfakes in interviews. Wow.
Allowing them to impersonate applicants with astonishing realism, deceiving initial screening processes. Their objective was to bypass SentinelOne's external defenses entirely, slip through the hiring process undetected,
Get legitimate access.
gain what would appear to be legitimate insider access, and then, from a position of trust, wreak havoc or exfiltrate critical information at their leisure.
But SentinelOne, being in the business of catching bad guys and understanding advanced persistent threats, they weren't about to let these would-be corporate spies stroll in unchecked, were they?
Thankfully, no.
Fortunately, this audacious plot was ultimately thwarted due to SentinelOne's exceptionally robust hiring processes and their deep-seated threat intelligence capabilities.
So their own systems caught it.
It seems so. Rigorous, multi-stage background checks, which you'd expect for a cybersecurity firm, almost certainly flagged glaring inconsistencies.
Like what?
Well, perhaps a North Korean IT expert claiming to have worked for non-existent companies or having a suspiciously thin digital footprint, things that just don't add up.
Right.
Behavioral analysis during the interview stages likely raised additional red flags. You can imagine a Mr. Kim maybe struggling to answer a basic technical question, something fundamental about network segmentation or the purpose of a firewall.
Uh-oh. Red flag indeed.
Definitely. And more critically, their security team proactively cross-referenced applicant data with their existing threat intelligence feeds, spotting patterns, IP addresses, or digital signatures linked to known PurpleHaze tactics and previous infiltration attempts elsewhere.
So connecting the dots.
Exactly. This holistic approach, combining human intuition, rigorous process with cutting-edge intelligence, was their saving grace.
The remediation was both swift and decisive, demonstrating a rapid incident response capability that is, well, truly commendable.
What did they do? Shut it down quick.
SentinelOne immediately and categorically rejected all 360 fake applications. Boom. Slamming the digital door shut on PurpleHaze's entire operation.
Good. End of story there.
But beyond that, they launched comprehensive internal audits, meticulously scrutinizing every new hire and existing employee to ensure no imposters had, by some remote chance, slipped through any cracks.
Covering their bases. Smart.
Crucially, they didn't keep this intelligence to themselves. They reported the incident to relevant law enforcement agencies and proactively shared detailed threat intelligence with other cybersecurity firms,
Helping the whole industry.
providing them with early warnings about PurpleHaze's novel and highly sophisticated infiltration tactics, helping to fortify the wider industry against similar future attacks.
That's responsible disclosure, really. Good on them. And in terms of controls applied post-incident, SentinelOne truly adopted a spy novel level of vigilance, didn't they?
They certainly did. They beefed up their vetting procedures even further, likely partnering with specialized third-party verification services to scrutinize every single applicant with an even higher degree of suspicion and rigor.
More checks.
They implemented even stricter access controls for new employees, effectively creating a gauntlet of checks before any new hire gains access to sensitive systems or critical data.
Zero trust for new hires, essentially.
Pretty much. Enhanced monitoring for insider threats became even more pervasive, likely incorporating advanced AI-driven anomaly detection to catch any suspicious behavior from seemingly legitimate accounts, no matter how subtle.
Watching the watchers.
And yes, it's highly probable they integrated a Spot the Spy module into their general employee security awareness training,
Okay.
raising internal vigilance against sophisticated social engineering and insider threats.
This incident is a stark reminder that even cybersecurity firms, who are literally in the business of catching bad actors, are not immune to the human element as an attack vector.
Nobody's immune.
It really pushes us to consider what zero trust means, not just for network access and device authentication, but for human identity and the rigorous vetting process itself.
That's a really interesting point. Zero trust for people.
It raises a critically important question. In our globalized, talent-hungry world, how do organizations effectively balance the urgent need for talent acquisition with the imperative for extreme, continuous vigilance against highly sophisticated, long-game social engineering attempts?
Tricky balance.
Very. The increasing sophistication of these tactics, including deepfakes and meticulously crafted fake profiles, truly puts the spotlight on the indispensable role of HR and robust vetting processes as a core component of an organization's overall security posture.
HR is a security function, essentially.
In a way, yes. It's a powerful and perhaps unsettling reminder of the need for continuous vigilance against insider threats, even from those attempting to gain access through what appears to be legitimate means.
So if the last section vividly demonstrated the dangers of being too trusting or too easily manipulated,
Which it definitely did.
this next part shifts our focus to the vulnerabilities inherent in the very technology we rely upon. It shows us that even our most trusted software and infrastructure can and do have very bad days.
Leading to some pretty serious digital cracks in the foundation, we're now diving into purely technical vulnerabilities.
The tech underbelly 0 days, memory leaks, and digital ransom.
All right, let's turn our attention to what became known as Coinbase's crypto conundrum.
Ah, yes, this was huge.
In May 2025, Coinbase, a global powerhouse in the cryptocurrency world, found itself in an absolutely brutal digital pickle. Hackers wielding ransomware with the precision of a digital scalpel breached Coinbase's systems.
Ransomware again.
The immediate impact was the widespread encryption of critical internal data, essentially locking the company out of its own systems. But the most alarming revelation was the exposure of vast numbers of associated data points, including user password hashes.
Hashes, not plain text, but still bad.
Still very bad. A truly jaw-dropping figure that meant millions of users were potentially at risk.
That scale of data exposure, particularly user credentials, even hashed, is almost unfathomable for a company built on trust and security in the digital asset space.
It's their whole business model.
And the motive here, unlike, say, some state-sponsored espionage, was chillingly clear and direct. Pure financial gain.
Absolutely. The attackers weren't subtle. They demanded tens of millions of dollars in Bitcoin.
Tens of millions, wow.
Undoubtedly dreaming of retiring to their own private digital island. It's as if they thought, why go through the effort of mining crypto when you can just steal it?
A direct approach, certainly.
This breach, one of the largest of its kind in terms of potential user credential exposure, left Coinbase scrambling to contain the damage, and users worldwide wondering if any password, no matter how complex, was truly safe.
So how did they get in? What was the vulnerability?
Well, the initial vulnerability exploited here was likely either a sophisticated zero-day exploit within Coinbase's proprietary software.
Something brand new, no patch available.
Exactly. A never-before-seen flaw for which no patch existed, akin to discovering a secret master key to their entire digital infrastructure. Or
what?
Or a critical misconfiguration in their expansive cloud infrastructure. Imagine leaving a digital backdoor wide open in a supposedly impregnable fortress.
Easy mistake to make in complex systems.
Especially in a complex, rapidly evolving environment like a cryptocurrency exchange, such an oversight could inadvertently create a critical point of entry for determined attackers.
So how did Coinbase find out? Was it the ransomware note?
Detection in this instance came through multiple, increasingly urgent signals. First, Coinbase's own security monitoring systems must have gone into full meltdown.
Lights flashing everywhere.
You can almost hear them screaming, "Alert, alert, someone's encrypting our servers faster than you can say blockchain." These systems would have flagged anomalous network traffic, unauthorized access attempts, the rapid encryption of critical files.
The usual signs of a major incident.
Right. Secondly, the ransom demand itself was, of course, an undeniable tip-off. The hackers boldly announcing their presence like uninvited guests crashing a very exclusive crypto party.
Can't miss that one.
And finally, as the crisis unfolded, security researchers likely began spotting the exposed password hashes, sometimes quickly decrypted, circulating on dark web forums and marketplaces.
Oh dear. Data leaking out.
Adding a terrifying layer of regency to the situation and alerting a broader community to the severity of the breach.
Remediation for Coinbase must have been a truly Herculean task, a battle fought on multiple fronts.
Oh, absolutely massive effort. Their immediate priority was the isolation of affected systems.
To stop the bleeding.
Exactly. Cutting off network access to prevent the ransomware from spreading further. They engaged rapidly with both law enforcement and leading cybersecurity experts to assess the full scope of the damage and strategize recovery options.
Did they pay the ransom?
While it remains unconfirmed if they paid the ransom, most crypto companies are, understandably, highly reluctant to admit funding criminal enterprises.
Right, sets a bad precedent.
So their primary focus shifted to system restoration. This involved meticulously rebuilding their infrastructure and recovering data from their secure, immutable backups.
Again, highlighting the importance of backups.
Absolutely vital. Underscoring the importance of comprehensive and regularly tested backup strategies. Concurrently, they worked tirelessly to patch the exploited vulnerability.
Close the door they came in through.
And then, in a monumental undertaking, they began the arduous process of notifying millions of affected users, urging them to immediately reset their passwords.
That's a huge notification job.
A logistical nightmare of an email campaign that likely clogged inboxes worldwide. To mitigate potential fallout, Coinbase also offered extensive credit monitoring services to affected users, acknowledging the risk of identity theft.
Trying to manage the fallout for users.
And as for the controls applied post-breach, it was a masterclass in aggressive damage control and long-term security hardening. What did they put in place?
Well, Coinbase completely revamped their backup and recovery procedures, implementing new technologies and processes to ensure faster bounce-back times and greater resilience against future attacks.
Learning from the pain.
They significantly enhanced their vulnerability management processes, investing heavily in advanced scanning tools, expanding their bug bounty programs, even hiring more white hat hackers to proactively stress test their systems and identify 0 days before malicious actors could.
Going on the offensive,
They-
defensively.
exactly. They notably accelerated the adoption of a comprehensive zero-trust architecture,
Assume breach, verify everything.
meaning every user, every device, every application is treated as a potential threat until rigorously verified, essentially building an impenetrable fortress around their data. Finally, they massively increased their monitoring and incident response capabilities, ensuring they could spot the next attack before it became another devastating headline.
And respond faster.
And respond with unparalleled speed. This incident serves as a stark reminder that even crypto giants, often perceived as being on the absolute cutting edge of digital security due to the nature of their business, can stumble and sometimes fall hard.
It happens to the best of them.
It powerfully highlights the critical importance of adopting a robust assume breach mindset, where rapid recovery capabilities and resilience are considered just as crucial as preventative measures.
Plan for failure, essentially.
It raises an important question for any organization. In an age of constant innovation with rapidly evolving technologies and incredibly complex digital infrastructures, how do you effectively secure a landscape that is fundamentally dynamic and ever-changing?
Tough question. No easy answer.
No. The devastating power of ransomware, especially when combined with large-scale data exposure and the ongoing relentless challenge of zero-day exploits, cannot be overstated for businesses operating at this scale.
Now for our final deep dive into 2025's technical woes, let's talk about CitrixBleed 2.
Ah, the sequel nobody wanted.
Right. Just when IT administrators across the globe thought they'd finally had a moment of peace, CitrixBleed 2, officially identified as CVE 2025-5777, burst onto the scene in 2025.
Not another Citrix vulnerability.
This vulnerability proved that even critical network appliances, the very backbone of many corporate digital infrastructures, can develop serious flaws. This was a severe memory leak vulnerability found in Citrix NetScaler products.
Which are used everywhere for application delivery, load balancing.
Exactly. Widely used.
And here's why a memory leak is so dangerous in this context.
Yeah.
It allowed attackers to effectively peer into the device's operational memory, exposing highly sensitive data, particularly session tokens.
Session tokens. Explain those quickly.
Think of a session token as your digital passport for a specific online interaction. It authenticates you without needing your password every single time you click something.
Okay, like a temporary key.
Exactly. If an attacker gets their hands on that token, they can bypass traditional authentication, impersonate you, and hijack your active session,
So they can just walk right in as you.
gaining unauthorized access to corporate networks, sensitive applications, or proprietary data with shocking ease. It was like Citrix was inadvertently handing out VIP passes to their internal systems.
Not good. So this memory leak in Citrix NetScaler was a true hacker's dream.
Pretty much.
It let them glimpse into the server's running memory, potentially revealing active user sessions, configuration details, other sensitive information that could be leveraged for further attacks.
And what made this particularly urgent and terrifying was that CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, didn't just issue a warning, they immediately added it to their known exploited vulnerabilities, or KAV catalog.
Okay, and what does KFE mean in practical terms?
This isn't just a theoretical flaw. It meant that this vulnerability was actively being exploited in the wild by malicious actors.
Oh, wow. So hackers were already using it.
Yes. For security teams globally, that's like putting up a giant neon sign saying, "Hack me, I'm vulnerable," and attackers are already using this. Maximum urgency.
So how is this one detected?
Detection for CitrixBleed 2 came through multiple avenues, often simultaneously. Initially, diligent security researchers, often independent or part of dedicated vulnerability research teams, painstakingly uncovered the flaw,
The good guys finding it first, hopefully.
responsibly disclosing it to Citrix. Simultaneously, organizations running NetScaler products began noticing unusual network traffic patterns or inexplicable, unauthorized access attempts within their systems, prompting deeper investigation.
Seeing weird stuff happening.
Intrusion detection systems, properly configured, would have flagged the suspicious activity associated with token exfiltration or hijacking. Logs showing session tokens being used from unexpected or suspicious IP addresses also served as critical evidence.
Checking the logs.
Always check the logs. And of course, CITRIX's public alert, sounding the alarm globally, provided the urgent confirmation that organizations needed to prioritize patching immediately.
So it became a frantic race against time then.
Absolutely. Citrix released a patch with remarkable speed, acting quicker than a barista making an espresso on a Monday morning.
Aha, gotta be fast.
Organizations worldwide were urged, with extreme urgency, to apply it immediately. For those that had already been compromised, the remediation was significantly more complex.
What did they have to do?
They had to revoke and reissue all their session tokens, which is essentially like changing every single lock in a massive building after a break-in.
Huge administrative tasks.
Huge. Beyond that, rigorous forensic investigations had to be conducted to determine the full extent of the compromise, meticulously checking for any evidence of data exfiltration or deeper network persistence by the attackers.
See how bad the damage was.
System administrators likely spent sleepless nights updating configurations, monitoring logs, and praying their secure backups were fully intact.
I bet they did. And the controls applied in response. Must have been pretty standard stuff, but essential.
Yes, the controls applied represent a textbook, yet incredibly challenging response to a critical infrastructure vulnerability. Regular patching became an absolute non-negotiable mantra,
Patch, patch, patch.
with many organizations implementing automated patch management systems to ensure vulnerabilities are addressed as soon as updates are available. The principle of least privilege access was reinforced.
Don't give people keys they don't need.
Exactly. Ensuring that users and systems only had the absolute minimum permissions necessary to perform their functions, thereby limiting the blast radius of any compromise. Network segmentation was rigorously implemented or enhanced,
Containing the fire if it starts.
effectively breaking down large corporate networks into smaller, isolated zones, so that even if attackers breach one segment, their lateral movement would be severely constrained. And finally, intrusion detection systems and broader security monitoring solutions were upgraded with enhanced alerts designed to scream at the first sign of any activity resembling the CitrixBleed 2 exploit or subsequent unauthorized access.
CitrixBleed 2 is a stark reminder, isn't it, that even trusted, widely deployed vendors in critical infrastructure can, and sometimes do, spring leaks.
Oh, absolutely. And that patching isn't just an IT chore. It's a fundamental aspect of digital survival.
Survival, good word for it.
It dramatically highlights the criticality of supply chain security, where a single vulnerability in one component or piece of software can have a devastating ripple effect across countless organizations that use it.
The domino effect.
Precisely. This raises a crucially important question for businesses and governments alike. Beyond immediate patching, how can organizations proactively identify, assess, and mitigate risks stemming from third-party software and components before they become headline-grabbing, actively exploited incidents?
Getting ahead of the curve.
It truly emphasizes the always-on nature of cybersecurity, where new vulnerabilities can emerge in critical infrastructure at any moment, and the vital collaborative role of organizations like CISA in rapidly alerting the industry to known threats, demanding unparalleled speed in patching and response.
Broader lessons and the evolving threat landscape.
So after dissecting these four wildly different yet equally impactful attacks from 2025, some powerful common threads begin to emerge, don't they?
They really do.
It's not just about the specific technical details of the individual actors. It's about the overarching lessons for everyone navigating our increasingly digital world. These incidents offer a panoramic view of the persistent challenges and evolving nature of cyber threats.
Indeed. When we connect this to the bigger picture, these incidents collectively paint a clear portrait of a cyber landscape where attackers are becoming increasingly sophisticated, remarkably adaptive, and, frankly, truly audacious in their methods.
Bold is definitely a word for it.
We're observing a fascinating and often concerning blurring of lines between what we traditionally considered nation-state actors, driven by geopolitical objectives, and organized cybercrime syndicates, motivated purely by financial gain.
The lines are getting fuzzy.
Very fuzzy. What unites them is a willingness to exploit any weak link they can find, whether that's a human being, a line of vulnerable code, or a critical system misconfiguration. They'll take whatever path is easiest.
That's right. And one of the most glaring and consistent common threads across these incidents is the unrelenting effectiveness of social engineering.
It still works.
Despite ongoing awareness campaigns, constant warnings, and ever-evolving technical defenses, It remains a primary and incredibly potent attack vector. We saw this vividly with the Great British Hack-Off, where advanced phishing tricked employees.
Handing over the keys.
And even more dramatically, with the audacious PurpleHaze infiltration attempt on SentinelOne, where the target was literally the hiring process itself.
Just walked in, or tried to.
Attackers are continually evolving their creativity and audacity in targeting the human element, making these highly personalized, psychologically manipulative attacks incredibly hard to defend against with technology alone.
Yeah.
They exploit our trust, our desire to be helpful, or our response to urgency.
Absolutely. Another absolutely crucial takeaway, highlighted by the Coinbase ransomware attack and the CitrixBleed 2 vulnerability, is the criticality of proactive vulnerability management.
Staying ahead.
Whether it's diligently patching known flaws the moment updates are released, or the far more challenging task of identifying previously unknown vulnerabilities, the so-called 0 days before attackers can exploit them, staying ahead of malicious actors is paramount.
It's a constant race.
And it is. These incidents underscore the never-ending race to secure incredibly complex software ecosystems and vast cloud environments. It's a continuous, arduous battle between vulnerability discovery and defensive hardening.
And closely related to that, perhaps even more fundamentally important in the face of inevitable breaches,
Which seem almost inevitable these days.
is the indispensable role of robust backups and comprehensive recovery strategies. The ability to quickly and efficiently restore operations from a clean, untainted state, as we saw with both the UK retailers and Coinbase, is often the very last and most critical line of defense against permanent data loss and catastrophic operational disruption.
Your safety net.
Without solid, regularly tested and isolated backups, a ransomware attack, for instance, can lead to total enterprise paralysis or irreversible data loss, turning a temporary crisis into a permanent catastrophe.
Precisely. And these incidents collectively and definitively highlight the power and indeed the necessity of multi-layered security. Defense in depth.
Right, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
No single control, no matter how advanced, is sufficient on its own. The most effective defenses involve a sophisticated combination of technical controls, MFA, network segmentation, advanced endpoint detection, continuous monitoring systems.
All the tech stuff.
Combined seamlessly with critical human factors like ongoing employee training, pervasive security awareness, and an instilled culture of vigilance. If one layer fails, another is there to catch it, reducing the likelihood of a full compromise.
Makes sense. Layers of protection. And finally, a consistent theme running through all four of these incidents is that rapid detection and an agile, well-practiced incident response are absolutely key to limiting damage.
Speed matters.
Identifying an attack quickly, ideally in its nascent stages, and having a thoroughly rehearsed incident response plan can significantly contain the impact, reduce recovery time, and mitigate financial losses.
Every minute counts when your systems are compromised, your data is being encrypted, or your networks are under active attack. The speed of reaction can often make the difference between a minor incident and a catastrophic breach.
So why does all this matter to you, our listener? How does this connect back?
Well, these large-scale incidents, while often appearing to be distant corporate battles, frequently trickle down to affect individuals in tangible ways.
Right, it's not just happening out there.
We saw this directly with the Coinbase breach, where millions of users were suddenly faced with the urgent need to reset passwords across potentially dozens of other platforms, and the looming threat of identity theft became a very real concern.
A major headache for users.
Even the operational chaos experienced by the UK retailers can impact you directly. Empty shelves, delivery delays, and a broader erosion of trust in the digital services you rely on daily.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder that vigilance and good security practices aren't just responsibilities for big corporations with dedicated IT departments.
No, it's personal too.
They apply directly to your personal digital habits, which form your own first line of defense. Are you diligently spotting those increasingly sophisticated phishing emails? Scrutinizing every link before you click?
Think before you click.
Are you using strong, unique passwords for every single one of your online accounts, ideally managed by a robust password manager?
Please say yes.
Are you enabling multi-factor authentication wherever it's offered, adding that crucial second layer of defense to your digital identity? These fundamental personal security habits are your personal frontline against the very types of attacks we've discussed today.
Absolutely. Looking ahead, the evolving threat landscape suggests we should certainly expect continued innovation in social engineering tactics.
We'll keep getting smarter.
Attackers will undoubtedly leverage advanced technologies like deepfakes and increasingly convincing AI-generated content to make phishing attempts virtually indistinguishable from legitimate communications.
Making it even harder to spot.
Much harder. The constant high-stakes race between exploit development and patching for technical vulnerabilities will also persist, demanding unwavering vigilance from software vendors, product developers, and security teams within organizations.
The cat and mouse game continues.
And the growing importance of supply chain security cannot be overstated. As we saw with CitrixBleed 2, a vulnerability or compromise in just one component or a single trusted vendor can trigger a devastating domino effect,
Compromising countless organizations downstream that rely on that product or service. The interconnectedness of our digital world means a single weak link can expose an entire chain.
And as AI becomes even more prevalent and powerful, this raises an incredibly important, almost existential question for the cybersecurity world. How precisely will it be leveraged?
By both sides, presumably.
Exactly. By both defenders to strengthen their fortresses, and by attackers to craft more sophisticated, faster, and more targeted attacks in future cyber conflicts. It's going to be a new frontier, fundamentally changing the game for everyone involved.
That's a truly powerful thought to leave you with as we wrap up this deep dive into 2025's most notable cyber shenanigans. We've journeyed through incidents that highlight the persistent potency of social engineering,
Still a huge factor.
the devastating impact of technical vulnerabilities, even in trusted systems,
No system is perfect.
and the critical, non-negotiable importance of preparedness, from robust backups to lightning-fast incident response.
In a world where even the most secure and well-resourced companies face relentless, sophisticated attacks, perhaps the greatest security control isn't a new piece of software, a more complex algorithm, or an innovative network protocol.
What is it then?
It might just be a collective, unwavering commitment to critical thinking, a healthy dose of perpetual skepticism, and a continuous pursuit of knowledge in all our digital interactions. What part will you play in safeguarding our increasingly intricate digital future?
We truly hope you feel a little more in the know and perhaps just a little more prepared after this deep dive. Stay safe out there.
Stay vigilant.